How did you go about finding a job?
Well, there's a Filipino saying about it's who you know, which is called the padrino style, more like the godfather kind of thing. So I was hooked up by my girlfriend's dad. He was working for that company then, and when it had an opening, I just got in.
How did you go about finding housing?
Um, no, actually, when I got married, then of course I moved with my husband. And no, my family did not require my support. So pretty much we were just providing for each other, Steve and I.
What was it like making friends?
Well, I'm a very friendly person, and I like meeting all kinds of people, and that includes different cultures. I remember as young as I was, one of my best friends was an Indian girl. So to me, different cultures provide a contrast to mine that makes them more interesting. So I'm always interested in making new friends. Living in San Francisco, it practically all kinds of people living there. It's great.
Yeah. What was your most difficult adjustment?
I think the most difficult part was life has been going along pretty smoothly for me, getting the job with no difficulty, meeting Steve, the answer to my prayer. Unfortunately, he got really sick and he passed away 2 years after our marriage. And that left me at a point where do I go from here? I have always lived with family, never on my own. So I guess the period of adjustment was I had to move back to my aunt because I really don't see myself as living alone. When you live in the Philippines, you are never alone. You always have your yaya with you.
Yeah.
I mean, there is never a time you're ever just by yourself. I have never been just by myself. So I chose to go back to living with my aunt.
Did you have to study more to get work or advance your career?
Well, I went back to a community college in Chabot, actually, and I took some refresher course in computers. But I didn't really, other than that, I really didn't do anything. I graduated BS Psychology in the Philippines, and that was all I needed.
How did your life here compare to your life in the Philippines?
In terms of comparison, I guess you could say that uh, if I picture myself as over there, it's not really much different. I picture myself as working, married, with kids. So that part is not different. I think the part that differs is more in terms of your mentality. And it's more apparent every time I return to visit the Philippines. I'd hang out with my friends that I've known since we were 15, and we're way much older now. And I just returned February. I just hang out with them, and I can't believe that they're still talking like we're in high school. That life did not change for them. Every time I visit, it's like being in a time warp. Like I step back in that nothing's changed except we're all married with children. But they're still hanging out with the nightlife, 3 times a week, which I don't understand, on a weekday, you know, and they still, they're not pressured to return home because they have yaya who will take care of the kids, cook their meal, help them with their homework. So I think that's the difference that I see between life there and here, because I took personal care and attention for your growing up, you know.
Yeah.
I made sure that you get picked up, there's no yaya involved, so everything is up close and personal for us, and I think I prefer it that way.